Star Trek is owned by CBS Studios Inc. If you love what we do, then please consider supporting Cryptfail on Patreon. Your support helps us grow and to create more content more often. And now, on with the show. Look again at that dot. That's here. That's home. That's us. On it, everyone you love, everyone you know, everyone you ever heard of. Every human being who ever was lived out their lives. The aggregate of our joy and suffering. Thousands of confident religions, ideologies, and economic doctrines. Every hunter and forager, every hero and coward, every creator and destroyer of civilization, every king and peasant, every young couple in love, every mother and father, hopeful child, inventor, and explorer, every teacher of morals, every corrupt politician, every superstar, every supreme leader, every saint and sinner in the history of our species lived there, on a mote of dust suspended in a sunbeam. Imagination will often carry us to worlds that never were, but without it we go nowhere. Somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known. These are the voyages of the U.S.S. Pegasus. So you stand on the disc and it suddenly just starts to slide down into the floor and it starts to gather speed, but you're in the tube, it almost feels like it fits perfectly. Like the engineering is very impressive. And it goes down for about 1 kilometer before it just suddenly, the shaft is no longer there and you are now on the disc with very loud wind swirling around you. The disc doesn't feel like it's falling, it does feel like it's descending, but you can see that you're in a chamber that is about 3 kilometers wide. You're about 2 kilometers from the surface and you can see below faint glowing sort of like runes and stuff like that are in the floor, and there are no railings on this disc. It's dark, but it's not pitch black. There is sort of some natural glow, or it looks like natural glow, but it could well be artificial. It's hard to tell.
Is it coming from the runes?
Yes, the light is coming from the runes.
Kelle's gonna head closer to the center of the disc since there are no railings.
And it does feel stable. It doesn't like move. There's no sort of wobbling or anything like that. It does feel very stable, but there is no railings.
What do you think it meant by slave race?
Considering this appears to be similar technology to what you encountered before, the Forerunners, as the Ithic called them, I suppose they classified different groups? Perhaps the inhabitants of this planet would classify as well? I am unsure.
It only activated when Commander Hunt stood on the platform.
Yes?
Who's sort of crouching off towards the edge. Not over the edge, but he's over near the edge, just sort of crouching and looking out. Looks back. I don't know. I mean, unless it considers me as a part of their slave race.
Humans?
Well, maybe, but
I certainly don't recall learning about any such technology as this being found on Earth.
well, just because it's never been found doesn't mean it's not there.
That is true.
The Ithic were slaves to the Forerunners, or servants, weren't they?
They certainly didn't consider themselves slaves. They said they had worked for who they called the Forerunners. I mean, they seemed quite pleased about this. They were a little unclear on what their ancestors had actually done for them, though.
Wow, this place seems to go on forever.
It does.
These Forerunners had some very complex building tools.
What's the point in a place this size? I mean, like, it's huge.
Well, we were getting the energy reading from here. I suppose that tells us nothing of what it was for. I guess we can only investigate once we reach the ground.
Yeah, I guess. It just doesn't seem to make sense to make a chamber, umpteen kilometers wide and umpteen kilometers deep.
I suppose they could have been mining, and this is what's left.
Yeah, but it appears
It
to be
looks
perfectly
symmetrical.
formed.
Yes,
Yeah.
for mining. It's not roughly scraped or anything. This is very clearly built with purpose. We just don't know what that purpose is.
Could be a storage facility.
That is true. If they had to store either very large objects or very many objects.
Large energy reading could be a power source for a ship that is maybe able to warp through material.
Mountain.
Or it could be that this is where they generate the black hole.
Wait, the black hole is systems away, though.
If it could be that they were trying to generate one in this system.
That is possible.
These are purely theoreticals.
It would have to be a very small black hole to fit in here, though.
No,
That is-
the power supply to generate said black hole.
Yes, that makes
Not
more
the
sense.
black hole itself.
Yes, I don't think they would wish to place a black hole here.
Alright, I guess Hunt's just peering off over the edge. In a crouch position, obviously, steadying himself with his hands beside he's taking, even though he's at the edge, he's obviously taking, it looks like he's, maintaining the utmost caution.
I suggest we prepare for a combat situation.
Hunt looks back, a little bit concerned on his face. What do you mean? Do you think there's more robots down here that you guys encountered on?
There was last time. It seems like an automated defender. It would only make sense that there might be some here as well.
There'd be much more room for them.
Hunt looks down at his waistband that's empty.
Yes, he did leave his phaser behind.
Did you forget to bring it?
Hunt looks up at Aura. And Tad's back looking over the side.
Do you want mine? I really do prefer not to use it.
That's okay, Lieutenant. If I need it, I'll grab it off you.
I suppose.
I mean, it's always good to be prepared, but I mean, you guys were on a ship before, so it makes sense to have an automated defense system in something that could be encountered, in space. This place seems to be fairly well hidden.
Still, you might want something to discourage the local population from entering.
Oh, I see. It is possible if the local population of this planet were considered a slave race by the Forerunners that they would be able to gain access. I am also unclear on why it accepted Commander Hunt. However, I suppose it only matters that it did.
Yeah, we only had a brief encounter with the ethics.
That is true, and I believe I saw just as many of them as you.
And medical. I passed all the medical tests.
Yes.
And as far as we know, we haven't been contaminated by any of the locals here.
As far as we know, and again, I don't imagine you would have had any more contact with them than the rest of us, so it is perplexing.
Very so.
Perhaps we should run some more medical scans once we get back to the ship.
I agree.
For now, there's not much we can do. In terms of that, when do you think this thing is going to stop?
Oh, looks like we're almost here.
Oh.
I was thinking the same thing.
Aura draws his phaser and kind of points it off into the direction as we get lower, and moves to the center of the disc.
Kelle will, I suppose, reluctantly draw her phaser.
Hunt stands up as the disc sort of rests on the ground below. I guess with a quiet thud.
And as it locks into place, all the lights go out and it goes pitch black.
Oh.
It's not very practical.
Oh,
dear.
Hunt taps his comm badge. Still no contact with the ship.
Okay. Well, we best look out for each other. What do we see around us in the landing area?
Nothing at the moment.
Oh, right. Yeah, it's black.
Okay. So pull out the flashlight, click it on, shine it around. Do I see anything? Any lights clicking on anywhere?
It is flat. There are markings. I called them runes, but they're not exactly ruins. They're more. I mean, they can be that, but they're definitely markings. They're on the floor. You can see about 25 feet, and you can't really see much more than that. But from where you were coming down, you think it was coming down roughly the center of the room.
Okay.
All right. Well, Hunt will head over to the Yennek because Hunt didn't bring a flashlight.
I don't think Kelle did either, because I specifically remember her bringing medical supplies, but that was kind of it.
But I have a tricorder, so he'll pull the tricorder out. And... It's obviously the tricorder's lit up, so he can see it probably in the dark, obviously. But well, Scanners being jammed, or and he looks up, so maybe reflecting off some surfaces, but I'm definitely detecting a large energy source here somewhere.
This reminds me of the space station that was generating the black hole with
The
the way
artifact?
that, yeah, the way that the scanners don't work even inside of it.
How far down are we?
Several kilometers.
Sorry, how far?
Couple of Ks.
And what's the size of the planet?
Sure.
What kind of
Big.
power source are we reading? Because I'm just trying to get at
Oh.
it might be because you're
I
getting
can't
closer to the
ascertain that.
planetary core, right? So
I can't ascertain that, Commander. I'm just. I mean, here, and he shows you the triquarter readings. You might be able to decipher it better than me.
doesn't seem to be geothermic in the energy.
That is
signature.
correct.
Okay. So it's not a volcano or anything like that.
Still, I'm assuming it's a bit warmer down here. Oh, it was showing Yennek the triquarter readings.
Does it appear to... Can you pinpoint the source of the energy reading that you're getting?
No, can't. Unable to do that, Commander.
You're not really a scientist. Perhaps Mr. Thatcher should be conducting this survey.
It's
Well, Commander, I've had basic training.
There is a light over there. I hate to interrupt your argument, or not argument, as the case may be.
Just pointing out matter of facts.
I hate to interrupt your pointing out of facts, but there is a light over there.
Hunt squints in the dark.
Which none of us see because it's dark. I don't know.
None of you see because it's pitch black.
Okay.
So
we should probably make our way towards the light.
I suppose it's as good a course of action as any.
Lieutenant, can you make out any of these readings as Hunt sort of drops back to where Aura is and shows Aura the triquarter readings?
Let me see. And Aura pulls out his own triquarter and... It looks like the energy readings are coming from all around, everywhere at once.
Everywhere?
Yeah. It must be... It's like almost like it's coming out of the walls.
This whole place is the source of the energy?
Yeah, I don't know how to describe it. It's very... I mean, as far as my understanding goes, it's not a very efficient system.
Seems to work. Or at least the disc did. I don't know what the whole thing's supposed to be doing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, in the absence of further evidence, I would suggest we keep moving towards the light.
And it is an open doorway, like a passage. Definitely creature-made. It's not a natural formation. It is two straight edges, and they meet like a more in a triangle fashion with a straight upper ceiling bit. So it's definitely manufactured.
And how large is it?
About 12 feet.
Okay. So it might be large creatures that we're dealing with.
It does feel a little like we're supposed to go in here, doesn't it? All the lights went out.
I say so.
Except this.
Yeah, I will step forward. As I step forward, I still don't have my phaser drawn. Is it better lit as we move forward now? Are there more
You can
lights?
see it's a faint blue light that's
Okay.
emanating from the walls.
Okay, yeah, but there
Ah.
is light. Okay. And is there more like runic type carvings on the floor?
Not
we
as many
move
on the
forward?
floor, but there is on the wall.
Mm.
Okay. So I'll ask the others, does any of this mean anything to you? And
What is this room?
I guess I can look at it too and see if it means anything to me.
It is about 14 feet wide, and it just goes on in a straight line.
The hallway thing? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think
Huh?
I've seen any of these symbols before.
Well, I definitely haven't either.
Yeah. I don't recognize them from anything that I've studied.
They don't look like anything that was on the artifact?
Hunt's sort of tracing his hand over some of the runes, or the what did you call them? Symbols.
Symbols? Yeah.
Hmm. Are they etched into the wall?
Yes.
And sorry, do they look like what was on the artifact?
Yeah, they're not exactly, but you a bit like if you found different forms of ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics. They might have changed over time, but you would definitely go, this is same sort of style, and you'd recognize certain things even if they might have changed. But I'm going to spend threat.
Oh, good.
Touch the wall.
Oh no.
It glows and then rumbles, and that symbol slowly recedes into the wall.
Hunt steps back.
And there's a click and a loud rumble through the facility.
Maybe you specifically shouldn't touch anything because the disc only reacted to you.
Razor's ready. We don't know what's going to come out of there.
Hunt's just shrugging. So, I didn't do anything.
No, you touched it. I mean, all you did was step on the disc, and that made it activate.
All right. Hunt's looking down at his hands and looking at the wall. How far has it receded into the wall?
About 1.5 feet.
Okay. Has the sound stopped?
Yes.
And we don't see that anything else has changed?
Nope.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to mention to Commander Hunt that maybe he, until we have a better understanding of what's going on here, I would suggest you maybe keep your hands to yourself.
All right. If I had pockets, I would be putting my hands in my pockets. Hunt simply folds his arms. Looks quite annoyed. Very well, Commander. No more touching anything from here onwards.
No, I said until we get a better understanding of what's happening. It's
Understood.
probably best if we're not messing with stuff we don't know, really.
Should we continue on, or
Well, and as Hunt's sort of walking away from the thing and he's looking at it, he's like, well, I wasn't exactly trying to interact with it. I was just merely tracing out the symbols.
I don't think you did anything on
Well,
purpose.
in that sense, would it not be in order to see if it
Well, would you like me to try and see
reacts
if anything
to
happens?
anyone else? Yeah.
Again, I'm just asking, as the XO, until we have a better understanding of what is going on here, maybe it's best if we don't go touching things that we're not sure about.
Okay, XO. Understood.
at least let's take a look at it before we decide to interact with it. That's all I'm getting at.
Well, Aura wants to take a closer look at the symbol that was pressed into the wall, and the symbols around it. They look kind of like a cross between Egyptian and like Chinese, where there's pictograms but also strokes. Um, but nothing that is familiar. The one that was inlet into the wall, is it glowing?
It isn't now, but it was.
Okay.
Some of the others still are.
Shall we investigate this corridor at least? And Hunt's sort of looking a little bit perplexed.
We should see where it goes.
Amanda,
Yes.
would you like to lead the way? You're the one with the light.
I don't think I'm the only one with a light, but yes, sure. I will lead further down the corridor, and I guess we'll be looking for any kind of repetition in the symbols along the wall. Maybe particularly anything that's looks vaguely familiar to what Hunt had depressed earlier.
So you sort of see that the corridor ahead, the lights are flickering, and as you get closer, you can see that the wall on the left has a large crack in it, possibly from one of the earthquakes, and steam every now and again is blasting out of it. And you can see that as you approach. And when you get, I'm assuming you're going to get right up to it, but when you get semi-close, it has it blasts again with a fair amount of force, and it hits the far wall. It doesn't do any damage, but you feel definite heat from it, even from the distance you're at. So you know that it's probably superheated.
Hunt's going to try and count the time between these blasts.
And you definitely feel that there is a pattern after a little bit. It is, so it's not natural.
Can we ask?
Possibly one of the vents has been damaged.
Okay. I'll ask Lieutenant Aura to see if the power fluctuates in a synchronous pattern with the what seems to be some kind of an exhaust thing.
All right. Let's see here. And Aura walks a little bit closer and takes out his tricorder and is going to try and get more information about it. Oops, that is...
Well,
all right.
2 success?
So this is the same power source that we were detecting earlier that was all around us. And doesn't appear to be fluctuating at all.
Oh, would he get momentum with that?
1, apparently. Yes.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Someone keeping track of momentum at the moment?
We've got 3.
All right.
And it goes off again.
You know what? My mind's elsewhere. Hunt was asking if there was a regularity to how often the thing vents. Is there?
Right. So, you think, Lieutenant, that the blasts are associated with the energy source that's surrounding us? As he's calling over the steam that's shooting out.
I think it just turned off, but yes. Yes, I'm very sure of it, actually. I would say, without a doubt, the steam is either the energy source itself or a byproduct of the energy source.
Well, I've calculated, and another steam starts shot of steam starts to shoot out. and Hunt waits. They seem to be going in 3, 5, 2, 3, 5 second bursts.
3, 5, 2.
3 seconds, psh, and then another shot of steam shoots out. 5 seconds until the next one. And then 2 seconds, then 3 seconds, then 5 seconds.
Okay. So we wait till it's 5 and go?
Correct. Hunt
Sounds good
realizes
to
he was
me.
yelling over the quiet. I guess we're waiting for the 5 second gap.
And whoever's going on a 5, give me a roll.
Oh, great.
Who's going first?
Daring security.
All right. Guess I'm going first.
Go for it.
2.
So you are across.
All right. Kelle or Aura,
Yeah.
you next.
One more momentum.
One more momentum. I'll try.
Look at you.
Okay. So, one is
One.
definitely one. Yeah, that's gonna work. The 9, if my number is a 9, that's not under a 9, so that doesn't count as a success, correct? Or
What?
I thought he said ties. You get the tie.
oh, if it ties,
yeah.
we get it. Okay.
Yes.
Then I have multiple successes.
So how many?
Does the 1 count as 2?
I believe so.
Yes.
So then I've got 3. Okay.
And that should max it out. You can have more than 6.
That would bring us to 6. Yeah.
Right.
Ever since Commander Hunt talked about the timing pattern, Kelle has kind of been under her breath, muttering the numbers of seconds, and as soon as she thinks there is the appropriate gap, she's just going to dart across. And then when she gets through, just kind of be like, okay, great. I counted right. I'm not burned to death.
Yennek, do you think this is really necessary? Is there another way we could go?
But Yennek was going to ask the DM. Is there another way across? I was thinking we were kind of. This thing took the width of the corridor that we're in, and so you had to pretty much jump, like time yourself.
You are correct.
Go through it.
There is one passage.
So yes, I'm afraid there is no other way around this time.
Alright, I suppose I will go next.
No success.
No success.
Oh, wow.
Oh dear.
Can I use a point of momentum since we have 6?
You definitely can. What's Aura doing to get through, though, and getting burned?
So Aura runs up to right before, and then he stops and hesitates, even though it's not going. He's like, okay. And then he goes. And as he's going across, the blast of steam hits him in the back, and he's singed decently much. A decent amount. And he kind of falls to the ground on the other side and starts to roll. Hot.
Well, Kelle, who didn't bring a flashlight but did bring medical supplies, is going to run over and investigate
Why did you stop?
what's going on.
You like spent a whole second on the other side.
I was working up the courage.
Okay, well, can
You
I
should-
please take... Don't roll. It's not fire. It's steam. I need to take a look at the burns.
And Aura lays on his stomach, and you can see that the back of his uniform has been filled with kind of Swiss cheese-like holes. And there are... what color would the welts be?
Dark purple?
Dark blue, dark purple, yeah. Has kind of formed.
Can I do
And
a
he's-
medicine roll to do anything about this?
Sure.
Is it daring or control, considering he's no longer jumping through steam? Can it be control or...
I will allow you to decide how you think your character would be.
I guess it's probably daring, isn't it? Alright. Daring medicine. I think I've used up all my good rolls, though. So, we'll see. Oh, but since I'm using my med kit, extra die? Excellent, excellent. Well, that's 2 success since the 1 counts as 2. Thank goodness, because the 19 and 12 were not... Oh, actually, no, 12 would, because it's a 8. Okay, 3 success. But the 19, yeah, no. I got nothing.
That will be
So-
our official rule, so a d4.
So I will roll a d4, and Kelle is basically what she is doing, regardless of what the roll will be, is putting some dermaline on there because that is a treatment for burns. So with that hypospray, and then also applying a local anesthetic to the area. And sadly, that's only 1. But
Well,
hey, we're underground.
burns are difficult. Yep.
Yeah. Not.
So you get
I
1
didn't
back.
bring burn specific supplies. Sorry, Aura.
And we'll say that it. And if it is something specific, like as in a focus, we might allow like a +1 to it.
Okay. Well, I don't have a burn focus. All I've got is
what I mean.
xenobiology, which technically Aura is an alien to me, but I'm not going to push for that.
But I think that worked out fair enough. Burns are difficult, so
Yep. So yeah, it's just basically applying topical treatments, a local anesthetic, and basically a very fancy burn ointment is what the other one would be. But it's good
and
enough
we'll
to
say it
help
doesn't
heal.
get worse.
Yep. Definitely stabilized at least.
Yeah. Okay,
And
Mr.
shouldn't
Yennek, go for it.
feel much pain.
Okay, so Yennek is going to attempt to make his way across. All right.
Oh.
Nothing and a complication.
Damn.
No.
So Yennek is clearly rattled by seeing Aura get burned,
Oh no.
and when he goes to jump across, that's crossing his mind that one of my charges is taken an injury. This is not good. And boom, he stumbles on the last step as he's about to clear, and then it falls back a bit and catches a brunt of it. You know what? Say I drop the flashlight.
Oh.
Just because, I reach back and flashlight flies out of his hand.
That was a terrible roll.
It really,
really
was.
It really was.
18, oh no. All right, so now we've got the XO also burned.
Now I got to see, because I've got the colon things. I don't know if that allows him to just like ignore it or what. I mean, it's obviously there, but I don't know.
I don't know if did this happen did he jump through Kelle is
No, I waited.
doing medical
I-
treatment already because she wouldn't have noticed. So if he doesn't say anything,
Well,
unless
if
the clothing
if
is
he ran
burned,
through, then Hunt
yeah.
would probably catch him on the other side.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
no, I did. I yelped and I dropped the.
okay. The flashlight,
thing.
yes.
Lieutenant, the commander's got himself unstuck as well.
Coming.
As Hunt lowers the commander down to the ground.
Alright, you should be fine for now. We'll deal with it more back on the ship. Please don't do that again. And Kelle will head over to look at the XO.
I think I'm gonna have to on the way back, aren't I?
Well, hopefully not.
Yeah, so it says you reduce the difficulty of all tasks to resist coercion, mental intrusion, pain, and other mental attacks by 2.
Well, even if he doesn't feel the pain as much, if he's visibly burned, I'm dealing with it.
Yes.
Dice Maiden, we haven't had any fights today so far, so please, No, really? Really? That's one success.
Wow. 2 19s. That could have been bad.
Really, Dice Maiden? That is one success. Okay, well, it's gonna be the same sort of thing here. Still just applying burn treatment and a local anesthetic. And burns are still difficult.
Yeah, really.
Dice Maiden, really? So that's yeah. They're both slightly better off. Definitely, yep, not getting worse, which is important with burns. If you don't deal with them immediately, the burn can just kind of continue to spread through more layers of skin. So Kelle's satisfied that she's at least prevented that, and they shouldn't be in much pain at the moment because of the anesthetic. As soon as we get back to the ship, you two are going straight to medbay.
All right.
Hunt's just looking at the three of them on the floor. Back at the flashlight. Aura's still got his flashlight, right?
Yep.
He's looking at the flashlight. Does he visibly seem like he wants to go grab it?
No.
Okay.
It is on the ground next to him.
Alright. Hunt will pick up the flashlight. Alright.
Well,
Let me take care of this.
are the two of you going to be all right to continue on?
Thanks to you, Doc. I should be okay to keep going for a while, but I think shouldn't push it too much.
Depending on how long we're down here, I can provide you with more anesthetic if necessary, but I'm hoping it won't be for that period of time.
Are they right to move? Should we leave them here?
Yeah, Yennek says he's good to. Definitely good to.
I don't believe moving would really worsen anything as it stands. They are stabilized. As long as neither of you does anything particularly strenuous or gets burned again, we should be fine.
I can't promise that. Or kind of clears his throat and gets to his feet.
Well, do your best.
Alright. As soon as you think you're okay.
I guess we'd better keep going then. The quicker we get out of here, the sooner I can get the two of you some proper burn treatment.
Hunt heads off down the hallway.
Kel's probably gonna hang back just so the two injured ones are in her line of sight. She doesn't think they're gonna collapse or anything, but she would feel responsible if they did, and she didn't notice, so...
Aura will follow, and he's kind of flexing his back a little bit, like kind of stretching, trying to kind of see how bad it is, what his mobility is like.
Please do not do that. I don't want you rupturing any blisters.
Sorry, Doc.
Yep. Yennek's gonna be following Hunt because he doesn't have a flashlight to be leading anymore. So, probably the hand that is burnt is so that maybe that arm's in a sling or something now.
It definitely could be. If the arm itself, the mobility isn't impaired, I probably would have just wrapped the hand. But if a sling would be beneficial, then we could do that too.
Yeah, sure, why not?
All right, a sling it is.
Say that was part of the complication that he burned a good portion of that arm, so it's best to keep it stable. So he's still got his phaser hand free, so if he has to draw his phaser and fire, he's okay. But
So ahead, the blue light starts to become a flickering red.
This isn't ominous at all.
Interesting, isn't it? There's something inherently more alarming about the shift from blue to red. Even though you wouldn't think it should necessarily be.
Yeah, I'm not sure, Lieutenant. Hunt calls back. But he still continues on forward.
And you get to an area where the entire passage has fallen away.
Ooh.
The floor is about 2 feet wide, and it's uneven on the edges. And where the walls and roof would have been are completely gone. You can see the passage is whole again in about 150 feet. To your right and left, about 1.5 kilometers down, are great lakes of bubbling red lava.
Oh.
And it is truly terrifying and truly beautiful at the same time.
Please tell me we don't have to jump over that.
Jumping, certainly not. Walking on the narrow pathway, I believe yes. If you believe you can jump 150 feet, I would be most impressed, but I wouldn't recommend the attempt.
How narrow is this path?
It was 2 feet, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
2 feet wide?
So
yeah, you
Yes.
come to the edge and it's now open. The roof is gone. You can see upwards, and you can see a fair amount. The lava is casting everything in a red sort of glow, and then it's a long way down. The wind is like you can hear it quite clearly. You can see the
Okay.
lava moving on the it's a fair way down. If anyone's got vertigo, like looking down is not a good. Every now and again it
Really?
bubbles and jets shoot up 100 feet into the air. Not high enough to get up here, but
Truly fascinating. Seeing the formation of a planet like this, it's the lava flows this close to the surface. I know we're fairly far down, but still, it's unexpected.
Indeed.
Perhaps this is the reason for the artifact that we are currently in, the building we're currently in, to harvest power from the lava. Or
Well-
the steam from it.
I suppose it's a question of, is the artifact here because the lava's here, or is the lava here because the artifact's here?
That's true. Perhaps we will find the answers across the bridge.
Hopefully. I would just remind everyone, I did request no further burns, and that does include falling into a pit of lava.
Do you have any suggestions for how not to fall into a pit of lava?
Medical suggestions? No. The only advice I can really offer is walk carefully, I suppose.
Well, it's 2 feet wide, Lieutenant, and the wind seems to be buffeting quite strong. So either we stay low and crouch and crawl across, or we stand
For the
and hold.
best.
I'm more inclined to be crawling across, if that makes
agree.
sense.
I would prefer that personally as well.
Yes, I agree.
Not the most dignified mode of transportation, but
Perhaps more dignified than plummeting into a
Folding
pool
into
of
a
lava.
lake of lava.
I know some Klingons that would disagree.
Well, we promise not to tell them.
And their disagreement would probably only be for a short period of time. So, all right. Hunt takes the initiative and starts crawling across the this 2 foot wide bridge,
Yep.
using his hands, grabbing
roll.
onto the sides. Oh, really?
Of course it's a roll. Why would it not be a roll?
Do I get an extra dice for taking my time?
None of us have
No.
a focus in not being killed by lava, do we?
No, because it's just control. It's
no, I'll lower the difficulty. That's fair. You have momentum. This is sort of
yeah. I think I'm going to spend a momentum.
Yeah, go for it.
so you get an extra
Yeah.
die. It's still daring.
Daring
Security,
What?
I guess.
security.
Yeah, security's for
Oh,
like
okay.
all the active I know. My two worst
Yeah.
stats there.
Oh my god!
Oh no!
But I got 2 successes
And a complication.
and a complication. I know what the complication is.
Please don't be concussed.
Okay, you get 1 momentum.
Okay, so I get 1 momentum back.
Okay.
You get across.
Yes.
What goes wrong?
But on the way over, Hunt had made sure that he switched the flashlight off. But he was still holding it in his hand.
Mm.
And because it was still in his hand, it was in his right hand, and he was trying to grab onto the edges of the bridge, which is not really good when you're trying to clasp a flashlight and clasp the side of the bridge at the same time. And as soon as he got onto the bridge, his hand just slipped, and he almost went over with it, trying to catch the flashlight, but his fingers just sort of like touched it, almost got it, but it just flicked and it just spiraled down into the lava depths below.
Bad day for flashlights.
And then Hunt sort of looks at the 3 behind him,
Aura's just glaring at him.
sweat beading off his face.
Was Aura particularly attached to that flashlight?
Well, he was holding on to it, and it was perfectly fine when Aura was holding on to it.
Oh god.
But Hunt took it and immediately lost it.
Yeah. So Hunt managed to crawl over to the other side, and yeah, he's looking quite stressed. So out of that, because of the fall, he took a point of stress as well. More mental stress, I guess. Is that okay?
Yeah. Your stress covers. Remember, a lot of Trek is abstract, so stress covers both mental and physical. So yeah, it's totally legit.
Yeah. So almost falling into a burning pit of lava is not the idea of Hunt's getaway holiday, or even
Getaway
mission,
holiday.
or even danger. Like put him in a ship flying around lava? Not a problem. At least you got the ship's hull to protect you, and shields. Clothy material isn't going to protect you for very long against lava.
Or Dice Maiden.
Or Dice Maiden.
So Hunt's sort of looking back at the rest of them with sweat beading off his face. He's obviously stressed out and shaking a little bit. So bring him with confidence.
Yeah. Everyone is so sure it'll go well now.
After you, Commander.
No, the commander, I'll go last.
Aura, if you don't want to go next, I can try my luck.
Alright.
Alright, I'm definitely spending a momentum as we're using my two worst numbers here.
What type of roll is it again?
It's a daring security. Which is, neither one of those is really my forte.
Yeah, those are my 2 worst as well.
Not daring and not secure. Okay, well...
I think you get an extra dice as well if you take it
I rolled an
slow.
extra dice. What? No,
No,
I got an extra one for momentum.
We just spent some momentum.
Yeah,
Oh, you
Adam
spent
also
one as
spent
well.
momentum.
Okay.
So I have 2 success. So Kelle is... having witnessed the loss of the flashlight and the near loss of a commander, going much more slowly, as she's not overly fond of heights to begin with. So she takes at least twice as long as Commander Hunt did, but she doesn't have any instances of slipping or appearing like she's going to fall. So very slowly but securely, she will eventually make her way over to the other side. And stand up looking a little pale.
Ora now has a little bit more confidence, and after seeing Kelle successfully get across, and he is going to use momentum as well.
Oh, yeah, I did. Oh, no.
One success
And
and a complication.
Oh.
Huh.
Good thing you used that momentum.
So as he's going across the bridge, one of the earthquakes that has been happening frequently happens, and the whole tunnel starts to shake as he's crossing this narrow bridge. And he clings onto it for dear life as boulders kind of come off the sides and fall into the lava around him. And eventually it subsides, and he is visibly shaken and stays there, clutching it for a good 5-10 minutes, just holding on to it before he shimmies across. And he looks very distraught. So the complication is mental stress. Is that just measured under stress?
Yep,
Yes, it
same.
is.
Okay. And just one or multiple, do you think?
I think it's up to
It's
you.
up to you.
Okay. I will roll a d4.
A D4.
Good.
Every single D4 that's been rolled for a little while has been 1.
Yeah.
So the stress of the situation reopened the blisters from the steam vent.
Wait, is it mental stress or physical?
It can be a bit of both. But there can be a physical component of it too, because it's the exact same amount that was healed. I don't know. He makes it across and just kind of grabs onto Hunt as he gets across for dear life.
Are you spending momentum?
Okay. I am going to spend 1, yes.
Okay.
So Yennek tries to put aside the pain and dealing with the sling. Still tries to go full bore across with the crawling. So let's see. Wowzers!
Oh,
Look at that!
good. That's
4
much better.
successes. He
Nice.
scoots across that like nothing. And in fact,
He's never
I can
been
even
better.
I could make it 5 because I've got hazard awareness for a focus. Yeah, so he manages to get across pretty quickly, and you guys still see it as, wow, what a display of Vulcan stoicism as he moves across there like he's in no pain whatsoever.
Well, that was something. Everyone made it.
Wow. I'm impressed, Commander.
Does he walk across or crawl across?
Oh no, I crawled.
He skips across, eyes closed.
Exactly, yeah. Full on runs across, a sprint.
I wish this walkway was 5 times as long, he says.
Like running down a super steep flight of stairs. Running full blast down these stairs. No worries.
I'm really beginning to hope there is another way out of here.
Yes, same. Hunt looks at his empty hands. Looks down the hallway. Is it dark or is it lit red?
It's faint. Once you're on the other side, it's faint blue again. Like once you
faint
enter
blue.
once you enter the actual passage.
Alright. Hunt gathers his wits and then starts to walk down the hallway.
Yep. Kelle's gonna follow as well.
So it goes for about another kilometre, and then it comes to the end of the passage, and whatever is beyond is in darkness.
Huh. I don't suppose anyone's particularly good at seeing in the dark?
So it goes a kilometre before it starts to get dark again.
It gets dark like at a hard line.
Oh,
There's just darkness all of a sudden.
The passage ends, or you're pretty sure the passage ends, and the room beyond is in darkness.
What now?
mm. Yeah. So Hunt's sort of following like the left side of the wall, and just sort of guiding with his right hand using the tricorder up in front of him.
As you step in, the passage width, so about 12 feet, lights up and goes in stages, like dum 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 dum, and it goes for about 1.5 kilometers, and then all these lights go on, and there is some form of machine, and it's about 1 kilometer tall and about 800 meters wide.
Interesting.
A machine?
Mm-hmm. It's definitely a machine,
At the end of the
and it is
kilometer
Yeah.
passageway?
and it is huge.
I take out my tricorder and try and get a reading on it. Is it giving off any sort of either biosignature or energy signature? So that appears to be the source of our energy signature we've been detecting.
Certainly looks the part.
Perhaps this is what is causing the quakes.
Well, I suppose we go see if there's a obvious way to deactivate it.
I don't know if deactivating it is the right move at this point. We don't know enough about it. It might be holding the whole planet together for all we know. Something has clearly gone wrong if it is causing the quakes.
Okay. I guess Hunt will lower his tricorder because the lights are obviously on now. And I guess we're walking towards the big, gigantic machine that is apparently holding this planet together.
So
It
Aura
might
theorizes.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Can neither confirm nor deny.
Hunt's just sort of looking at it and, I guess, stark amazement. Wow, that thing is absolutely huge.
It is. It's
Does anyone see a clear entrance?
to the machine?
Yes.
Looking at the size of it that we can see from where we are, does it look like it would fit in that other room that we were in?
Yeah, possibly.
And nothing will prevent us from approaching it?
No, it's flat leading up to it.
Alright.
Okay, I guess we make our way
Yeah.
towards the thing then.
Yep.
And when we get up close, we'll take a look to see if there's any markings on it.
And I know Aura wants to look for an
And
entrance.
look for an entrance, yeah.
There is no entrance. There is a large control panel.
Does the control panel have any familiar icons on it?
It looks the same sort of stuff what you've been looking at. There's not enough to be able to work out like what it means specifically just by looking at it.
Yep. No, but I was more of the mind of it. Is it familiar to what Aura and Yennek saw on the space station, or
Mm-hmm.
similar to the icons that we've seen written on the walls and the floor, and similar style type of thing?
Well, if everything else we've encountered is anything to go by, then Commander Hunt would be the only one who'd be able to make this do anything. But because we don't know what anything on the control panel means, whether or not it would be something we want it to do is the question.
We could make it worse.
Definitely a possibility. We have no idea what it's meant to be doing, if it's doing that or what it could do.
Does it look like it's... Can we get a feel, like if we look down low, does it look like it's boring into the planet's surface, or deeper into the planet's surface, or what is it doing?
You can give me a roll to try to work some stuff out.
Okay.
And so can Kelle. Now, I will tell both of you, this is a difficult roll.
Okay, well, I'll spend momentum.
Yeah, we've got 3. So.
We've actually got 4.
Oh, do we?
Because
Okay. Oh, right. Yeah.
What kind of a roll is this?
This will be a reason medicine for you, and there's will be
Yay!
reason science.
Okay.
Reason science? Okay.
Or engineering, I'll allow either.
Now it's some of my best instead of my absolute worst.
After you, Kelle.
Alright. Kelle will investigate. Dice Maiden, please. Don't hate me. Alright, Dice Maiden, alright. 2 success.
That is 3 successes for me. Actually, 4 successes for me.
Oh, nice.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, so for my part, I'll say it looks like this machine is actually here to kind of monitor the planet. And it's part of a propulsion or a navigation system that allowed the planet to actually be moved. So perhaps, were they called the Forerunners? They might have tried to create a planetary system.
How do you know that, Commander?
Just looking at what the machine is doing to the core of the planet, and based off the energy readings that we were picking up before, it was sending off a specific tachyon signature that is used to analyze various geological outputs and atmospheric outputs. So that's how we're guessing that this thing was monitoring the planet. As far as this being part of a propulsion and navigation system, the volume of the power draw is much too large to correlate to simply monitoring. Just looking at what we can see here, it doesn't look like it's the complete part of the machine. Perhaps the other empty rooms that we were in held similar components. Where those components might be now, I do not know.
Kelle has not really heard any of this because she was just doing a sort of general scan and then appeared to become very interested in part of the control panel and has since been sort of collecting samples in the way you would if you, I guess we're working a crime scene, like swabbing surfaces and collecting those in sterile containers, and is doing a more thorough scan on the area as well.
Well, Hunt probably wouldn't really have noticed because he's just looking up at this great big monstrosity.
That is fair.
Did you find out on the control panel, Kelle, what buttons or whatever do what?
I have absolutely no idea what it's for, but I did find some DNA. It's the founders, what the Ithic called the Forerunners, some of their DNA. It's not a very good sample. It's not what I'd hoped for, but I can tell that they were or are reptilian. The closest thing I can think to compare the DNA to would be Gorn.
Fascinating. How long would that DNA that you're picking up off the control panel, how long would that stay on there. Just trying to find out if they have been using that control panel recently, or
Honestly,
it
I have
beyond
no
this?
idea. It seems like a very old,
Okay.
just perhaps preserved very well, because I don't imagine
That's
a lot
all.
of people make it down.
So one
here.
further bit of information I can tell you is that it appears that this system, this machine, seems to be falling apart. It's nearing the end of its life cycle.
But what does that mean for the planet?
I can't imagine it means anything good, but truly it's unknown. If it really is just a monitoring system, then it might not mean anything bad for the planet at all.
But would the increase in the seismic activity have to do with it coming to an end?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that, please?
You said the system is coming to the end of its cycle.
It's a machine that we're looking at, and the machine
Yes.
is failing. That's all I was trying to
Yes.
say.
Would that be causing the earthquakes, though?
Very likely causing the earthquakes, yes. Because of the fact that the engines are not firing correctly.
Oh, so and Hunt's looking up at the he's trying to figure out. You don't know. You think he's trying to see if he can look at the highest point of this machine, and he's like, well, so like a feedback pulse. It's but if this machine was designed to move this planet and it's not needing to be able to do that anymore, I mean, this planet's in orbit now, so
Would shutting the system off...
why even? But why even would it still be running? You said it was monitoring. Maybe it was running for a certain period of time to make sure that the planet was in the correct orbit, and never switched off. I don't know. But it seems like the logical thing to do, Commando. The logical thing would be to switch it off.
Without being aware of what it does?
Well,
I said it's part of a propulsion or navigation system. Part of.
So surely it's not providing propulsion or navigation to this planet.
Not at the moment, but it may have
in the past.
In the past, and it also may be so integrated into the planet that turning it off
However,
destroys
not
the
turning it
planet.
off...
Destroys the planet.
Clearly, it coming to its end, as the EXO said, is increasing the seismic activity, and we already know that within 2 months that is going to destroy this planet.
Correct. I do agree that I do think turning it, attempting to disable it, is the safe choice to go to make.
There may be a third option. No, we could try and fix it.
Why would we wish to?
Well, if we fix it, the quakes would stop, and we know we're not destroying the planet.
If we fix it, technology we don't understand, do we have any way of knowing it won't simply break again?
And if we can find what the problem is. I think it's worth attempting, considering that the planet still has 2 months.
Do we wish to leave a strange artifact running deep within a planet that was created by people whose intentions are unknown to us, which may affect the citizens of a planet who have no knowledge of it?
You could give them knowledge of it.
Is that wise? We were worried enough about them finding the crashed shuttle, and you're suggesting we give them access to technology that could move a planet.
I suppose not, but it is their planet.
But it isn't their technology.
No, but they might have to take control of it in order to stay alive. Is there a data terminal anywhere? Or just like the control
it looks
panel?
Similar to the black hole one, but not the same. You're definitely sure the functions are different, but
So, Aura, do you think that this propulsion system
Yes.
could be trying to control the planet's orbit and the earthquakes resulting from because of the age of the mechanical system? It's under duress, fighting against the gravitational forces. So.
I think we would have observed if there was some non-natural force moving the planet around. If it had an orbit that wasn't stable, we would have noticed that.
This machine is controlling the orbit, so it is the orbit for now is stable, but it's constantly fighting against gravitational forces, which hence the earthquakes.
Or if this system isn't as strong as it used to be, perhaps the planet is orbiting naturally, however the system wants it to move elsewhere and is fighting that.
Yep, so there's
Yes, that's definitely possible.
If that is the case, then fixing it could possibly set this planet on a course to some unknown location.
Especially if it was designed to go somewhere at a determined time.
I believe attempting to repair it, there's just too many unknown factors that could be devastating for the planet and its inhabitants. As far as we know, it has no function in preserving the structure of the planet, just in moving it. Fixing it makes it more likely to move it.
Let me ask you this, Lieutenant. Do you think that this machinery was added to this planet as an act of benevolence? Or do you think it was done as a hostile act towards the inhabitants or the planet or itself?
There's absolutely no way of knowing. However, I would be very careful of the intentions of any group that refers to others as a slave race.
It's a old Earth metaphor. The idea being that ants on the side of a highway would have no concept of what a highway is or anything about it, really.
Insects?
In this example,
we do not have those.
Yes. And the idea being that small insects are equivalent to the natives here when faced with extraordinary technology.
But they did not refer to them as such. They referred to them as a slave race. They specifically had the Ethic doing some unknown form of work for them. I can only assume this was placed here for any reason. Definitely not as a benevolent act. They clearly have an interest in controlling the species of other planets and having them work.
Well, perhaps if this is part of a propulsion system, the planet was moved here to save it from a more immediate danger in the system that it was in.
I don't see why these Forerunners would do so, however. They clearly are capable of travel from system to system all over. If this planet was going to be destroyed, from everything I've seen of them so far, they would have no reason to save it. They would simply find another planet with a comparatively primitive race and convince them to do work for them.
Well, then perhaps your preconceptions about the Forerunners are incorrect.
It is very possible. I can only go with the information I have so far.
Indeed. I think it is in our best interest to find a way to safely disable the machine.
Hunt is allergic to philosophical debate.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to steer it away from that. That was my one.
Yep.
conflicting thought was it was like, well, what if they did this like as a good thing to move a planet that was in trouble away from an immediate danger? And to do that, they actually devised a propulsion system to put into the planet and had the whole planet just picked up and moved.
Commander, wouldn't that not have changed the dynamics of the environment on the planet's surface?
Yes, it would have.
So it would have essentially destroyed everything anyway. You were saying it looks like a propulsion system, and well, there's two thoughts. Well, there's probably more than two thoughts, but either it was specifically designed to move the planet into orbit, or was designed to keep the planet from an orbit of decay.
If
Yeah.
it was installed as an act of benevolence to save the planet, I would still have to assume that they are intelligent enough, if we take a look at the technology, that they would understand this is a system that could decay and create issues in the future, just as the one on the Ithics world was with the black hole, and therefore shut it down if they just wanted to help the
Lieutenant,
people and
what-
leave.
Would we have not noticed an unusual orbit of this planet?
I ask. This is directed to me.
Oh, sorry, you were just talking, so I'm directing it. And Hunt's looking at Kelle.
Who wasn't talking about the orbit, so she's really confused. She was just saying she thinks that if they moved the planet because they wanted to help the people, that they would have also shut the system off after.
Then Hunt turns to Aura. Okay, let's redo this. So, do you think that we would have noticed that this may have had an unusual orbit before we even got here?
Yeah, if there was something propelling it other than gravity, if there was some sort of propulsion, we definitely would have noticed it. Which is why I don't think the planet is really moving at the moment.
But the earthquakes
But-
would indicate that either the machine's breaking down and something's happening to the planet, that the machine has been stopping, or
Right,
the
that's-
machine at its age has decided, well, we're going to move the planet to another position or something like that, and it's trying to force the planet out of gravitational alignment. So why are you dragging me
Well,
into these
that's why
conundrums?
No one forced you to chime in, Commander.
Well, that is why I'm so worried about disabling it, because it is causing these earthquakes, meaning it is heavily integrated into,
The fact that it's
The-
failing is what's
at very least,
causing it to misfire like this, which is causing the earthquakes.
Personally, I believe we should shut it down, and this is both having considered it as logically as I can, and less logically, the conclusion I am drawing from what I have observed so far, that these founders appear to just have been hopping around to different planets, using them up as much as they can, and leaving them to die. So I'm not particularly invested in leaving any of their technology running.
Yeah, well, we're in agreement, at least Kelle and Yennek are in agreement about disabling the system.
I believe
don't
it's
think
mostly
we're-
Aura who's
I
arguing.
don't think we're perfectly harmonious on the
No,
why, but we're
no.
in agreement that it should be. We
Yes.
think it should be disabled. I'm saying that my research or my investigation here has shown that if the engines are part firing like the way they are, that's what's causing the massive earthquakes.
It's only Aura who's objecting to shutting it down, I believe.
Well, I kind of think of it along the lines of, if let's say the Pegasus was stuck in we got caught in the gravitational pull of a black hole. Our engines being new, designed to easily pull us out of that. So a controlled exiting of that. But if our engines were older from the original Pegasus and not up to the task, then we would, the ship would suffer stress while trying to pull away from the gravitational forces. So we might be able to stay in the same position while applying more power to the engines. So could that not be the feasible thing that's happening here? Is that the engines are trying to compensate for gravitational change, and it's old, and therefore that's creating problems.
That is a possibility.
I'm just a pilot. We're talking about a planet here.
Yeah, but I think Kelle did have a good point with the motive of the Forerunners to do that. I don't know why they would want to, given that they also just created a black hole. They don't seem like the planet-saving type. But Exo, you are the acting commander, and I will, if you want us to disable it, I will.
Well, we'll have to figure out if we can first.
All that I asked...
I say, having argued very hard for
right.
this course of action.
In that case, Lieutenant and Hunt's looking at Aura. If the planet was going into a decaying orbit, how long would the population have? Or worst case scenario, if we don't turn it off, we have 2 months. If we do turn it off, will that provide us with more time?
That's a good question. I mean, if it was a decaying orbit, turning it off would make it much, much worse. But I don't think it would be any faster than 2 months. Although, I suppose as it gets closer to the sun, the star, it would begin to heat up the planet's surface. They would experience extreme climate change. They would have less time, probably. But there's no real evidence of that. It seems to be in a stable orbit, which is okay, I think. Well, what I mean by that is I don't think that this machine is disrupting the orbit. Otherwise, there would be signs of it being less stable.
Well then,
I think it's okay to disable it. I would just ask that, Commander, you give me a bit of time to study this machine and see if it is keeping the planet alive as opposed to
how much time would you
destroying
need?
it.
And how would you be able to do so with what's at our disposal here?
I don't know yet. I have to look around more.
Yeah, no, I think that is a logical way to proceed.
And if I can't find anything in, say, 4 hours, there's no evidence of getting any more information, or it appears like this machine is just causing the earthquakes for no apparent reason or whatever, then we'll disable it. Is that while I'm working on figuring out that part, you guys can work on how to disable it.
It's a little less organic than anything I normally work on.
So I guess we get to work then. Start looking at it and seeing what can be fixed, or how do we go about dismantling it, or
Oh, you're
shutting
sure
it
it can't
down?
be fixed? Like,
It can't be
you're sure
fixed.
It can. Yeah, we're talking about something. This isn't 5,000 years old or 10,000 years old. The sphere was. No one had a full proper carbon dating, like
Yeah.
yet, but they knew it was ancient. They've been like the founders. They've
Very,
been
very
around.
long time.
Yeah, yeah. Like it could. No one knows for sure, but I mean, it could have been a couple of million years. So this thing is
We have no
absolutely.
idea.
Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
I said fix it. I guess what I meant was like if there's a way we can, if shutting it down is going to cause some other problem, if there's a way we can kind of mitigate that.
Or imagine what the Federation could do with this technology.
I have no interest in technology used by the sort of people who apparently use this sort of technology.
Well, think of all the good we could do, all the things that we suggested that perhaps that's the reason why the Forerunners made it. We could actually do that. We could move planets away from black holes.
But
We could move them
and
away
in the
from
process
supernova.
damage the planet itself?
Why is it for sure damaging the planet?
We don't know that.
We don't know for sure, but it seems a possibility.
With a species this advanced, surely they thought of that and how to
We don't know what
counteract
they've
it.
thought of. We've never met them. We've never really heard of them, except for all the things they've left behind on planets they didn't seem to care about particularly much.
I don't see how this is any different from the Genesis device, from a philosophical point of view. In any event, we are trying to disable the thing permanently. After Aura has had a chance to study it. Sorry, what role do you want?
It'll be either engineering or science, reason, or control. I'll let it be control. And you can buy momentum, and someone can.
Who's rolling?
We have one momentum left.
No reason to keep it.
Yeah, actually, let Aura do that role.
Anyone assisting?
So
Yeah, I can assist.
Okay. Then you roll 1d20 as well.
And Chris, do you want to spend the momentum?
Do it.
Yeah, go for it.
that is for
Great.
success.
Nice. That's good. Good job.
All right, I'm on your guys' side. I think that we've determined the best solution is to disable it. Over the
Excellent.
course of the past probably 4 hours, I've gathered the information Aaron just relayed. So, to disable it, it looks like on the control panel there are some runes that it might take a while to translate fully, but I think if we press them in the right order, it will.
Would anyone press them, or do we need Commander Hunt, as everything so far has responded to him alone?
Don't know.
You want me to push buttons?
Yeah, I think I recognize most of them just from studying. I think if you press this one and this one, and Aura points to a couple on the control panel, it should shut it down.
Hunt gets up off the floor. Which ones?
These two here. If you press them at the
Hunt
same
presses
time.
them both at the same time.
Okay.
So Hunt sort of like, ow, looks down at his fingers. He starts sucking on it. Damn thing pricked me.
Oh. That's a little worrying. Kelle's gonna go look. Did like a needle come out of it or anything that is still visible, or nothing visible?
It was that one. There was an there was a needle there. It's not there now. And he shows Kelle his index finger. It's got small prick on it.
Yep. That is concerning. I mean, not the wound itself is not concerning. Nothing appears to be wrong with that I can tell, though I can definitely check it out further on the ship.
I feel okay.
No, it's more worrying as it feels like the machine is attempting to collect DNA or some such thing.
Hmm? What does the machine want my DNA for?
I don't know. That's why it's concerning.
Something to do with you being a part of the slave race.
Again, we don't know what that's about.
Well, at least it's powering down.
There is that. I suppose if it is collecting information, it can't really do anything with it.
Unless this is connected to
That
other
is the worry, I
artifacts.
suppose. Although,
Wait, what?
are these people even still around? It's been so long.
They might not need to be if their technology is advanced enough.
Well, hopefully I'm just paranoid.
Hmm. I hope so too. Hunt says with a certain reservation look on his face. So, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but how are we going to get out of here?
Exactly.
Well, at least I was gonna say, at least the steam shouldn't be going anymore. The lava we can't do much about. They don't go, how are we gonna get back?
Or maybe we can suddenly
We could maybe
call the
contact the
ship.
ship now, yeah, because the thing's shut off. Well, now that it's shut off, maybe we should see if signals are still blocked.
Yeah, if they're not, I'll call for a to beam up, and then what's the military term for? Anyways, heavy ordnance fire after you've beamed us up on the entrance to this place. Because ideally, we'd like to have it completely covered up so that the locals don't stumble upon it, and nor do any invading forces, whomever they may be. I was going to say fire heavy or whatever. I don't know if that's the actual
The Voyages of the U.S.S. Pegasus utilizes the excellent official rules Star Trek Adventures released by Mephidius Games. Featuring Emily as Lieutenant Kelle, Shadow as Lieutenant Aura, Raveninsane as Commander Hunt, Ken as Commander Yennek, and Ghost as the GM. Many of the sounds come from Syrinscape, an excellent app for bringing more life to your gaming table. You can find us at critfail.com.
Hunt had depressed earlier.
The GM.
Oh no.
And he's not here to enjoy that particular
No, he's
bar.
not.
I'm sorry?
What depressed? What Hunt depressed?
Oh, no, I meant the thing that sunk into the wall. Sorry.
Yes,
No.
yeah. No.
I didn't mean emotionally.
He was just making a joke.
Okay.
Yennek, do you think this is really necessary? Is there another way we could go that doesn't involve hyper hot pieces of steam?
Pieces of steam?
Pieces
How
of
do you have a piece of steam?
Sorry.
You guys aren't there. Yennek can make fun of me, but not you guys.
He's never
I can
been
even
better.
I could make it 5 because I've got hazard awareness for a focus.
I am very aware of the lava, says the
He
commander.
stops halfway and points. Lava
Look,
is bad.
that's lava.
Okay?
That is a hazard. Please, everybody, be aware.
Does somebody have a sign? I'd like to set up like some warning signs.
Somebody should rope this off.
Where is health and
OSHA would
safety?
not be happy about this.
Beware of lava.
All right, are we gonna say we've got a flashlight of some sort?
I'd say it's up to Aaron.
Did we manage to get we blew up our ship, our shuttle? No, did we? No, we blew up their shuttle. That's right. We had the other shuttle come down and pick us up. Or do we have to spend a momentum?
What the hell? You never fucking flashlight.
No, we want to debate how realistic it would be. We've got a
Just wanna let you
flashlight.
go for a while.
We got a flashlight.
If you let us go for much longer, it'll just be the whole episode is us.
No, I realize that.
All right, we got a flashlight. At least
Yes,
one.
unless Aaron makes a ruling, we will literally just go forever.